Hey guys, welcome back to the How to series from Emantex AI Academy. This is Asif. We are continuing our series on building our own agents. The agent that we have been building has been the stock trading agent with using OpenAI's Codex CLI agent. It's a long term, but basically we have been using the coding agent from OpenAI to build our own stock trading agent. Um, Now, what have we achieved till now? So we managed to set up our environment. We have got the agent running. We have been backtesting our strategy. So we selected a very simple strategy. It's called a simple momentum strategy. It's not the one which is normally used. And the results have been, very meh. It's not great. It's a very simple because the strategy itself is very simple. We saw that the strategy identified certain stocks on which we were getting good returns. Again, this is all backdated information, so history is not a guarantee of the future, right? So the past is not a guarantee of the future. So even if we see that the strategy would have worked well for a company like Maruti Suzuki, will it work well in the future? No, there's no guarantee of that. So we do not, this is for educational purposes only. We don't recommend trading using such a simple strategy. But coming back, the problem we were facing was that the data we were observing on Upstox, we were using this website called Upstox for the data. The data was not matching with the data that was downloaded because I believe the data we downloaded from Yahoo Finance, and there were some differences. So what we want to do is we want to change the connection. We want to download our information from Upstox rather than Yahoo Finance. And of course, once we are able to download, we'll also want to execute some trades and first just see the recommended trades and then actually go ahead and execute a trade. So now, in order to do that, we had gone to the Upstox website and we had created a Sandbox app. And when you create a Sandbox app on Upstox, and again, all of this is free. You don't need to pay any money to Upstox to get a free account or even create a Sandbox app. There's no charge for this. So we made a Sandbox app. What you need to do is you need an access token. So you click on, so you go to the Sandbox section, you open up your API Sandbox, and you create a generate access token. You need this token. I copy it to the clipboard, and now we'll tell our software developer that okay, let's do one thing. We want to change the data source. We don't want to use Yahoo Finance. We want to use Upstox. And just to speed things up, we'll download data only for 1 year for BSE 30 companies only. Please use the API with the access token, and we are pasting the access token in. So this is the access token we'll be using to, this is the one we generated from a Sandbox app. Okay, let's run this. Okay, so as you can see, it started navigating the Upstox website. This is what agents are good at. If at some point it doesn't do a good job of understanding the website, we can always feed more context to it. But right now, we are trying to keep it as open as possible. Let it navigate the website, understand we'll see how well it understands this task of trying to download this information from Upstox, and if it struggles at places, we will just supplement it with the information that we have on the API side. Generally, where would you get this information from? You would get it from the documentation present on the Upstox website. There's this API documentation that they have. It's under the developer API segment of their documentation, and they have various APIs. So we don't want to actually navigate through these APIs ourselves, and we are just asking the agent to do it. So the first thing we would do if it hadn't understood what is Upstox and the API, we would have just given it this URL. So we would have told it to navigate to this URL and then go through the API, understand how to fetch data from Upstox or how to make a trade. That's where we'll come to later. So how to do a trade on Upstox. But yeah, so for now, we'll just let it run and try to fetch this data that it is searching for and trying to find it. Okay, so it says it is done. It says that it has now managed to fetch the data using Upstox. It has matched all the tickers. Okay, fine. Upstox expects the freshest data, so the script. Okay, fine. So all this looks good. Let's verify now whether, please show me the trades for, show me recent trades, recent recommended trades for Maruti and Reliance. So we just check these two companies only. Let's see what kind of trades it recommends. So again, it's like we are talking to an actual person. You just tell him that I want this information. We don't care how he goes ahead and fetches it. Okay, so it tells us in the case of Maruti, we would have entered at on 31st at 12480.05. Let's verify this. It says open 12506, close 12608. It is saying it'll enter at 12480. Where did you get this number from? Okay, so I'll just take a snap of this. I think there is some gap. Maruti Suzuki looks off. The Upstox website shows us 12506 that the opening price on 31st of July 2025 for Maruti Suzuki, uh, and that's, let me just verify that is the symbol, is the same symbol, is 12506. Okay, so we come back. Now, okay, I think the difference was we were checking prices. There was a difference of the stock exchange, BSE, NSE. It has now managed to consolidate whatever we are saying. And now it is fetching prices from NSE. Okay, so let's go back. It's sold on the 4th, whereas I see only green. Okay, let's look at this. So the price on the 30th was 12618. It dropped to 12608. Then dropped further to 1227, 12302, and it bought it. It sold it on. Oh, okay. So actually, it is following our strategy, but no, it's not following the bars. So just to understand the bars, I believe the green bar means it closed at a price higher than the price it opened at, and the red bar means it closed at a price lower than what it opened at. So let's change our logic. So just to make it more visual. Uh, please calculate momentum as please calculate momentum as positive momentum is when the closing price is higher than the opening price, and negative momentum is when the closing price is lower than the opening price, and we want 2 days of positive momentum to purchase on the 3rd day at opening price, and similarly for negative momentum. So I think it did calculate as per our instructions, but it's just that it's not matching the visual aspect of what we are looking at Upstox. So we'll just change our strategy a bit to make it more in line with what we are seeing on Upstox, and yeah, I don't think this should be a big change for it to incorporate. So once it has done that, we'll reevaluate our strategy, and we will generate trades that it believes it should happen for today, and we'll go ahead and execute those trades. That's basically, it should give us a good enough picture. Okay, so it says it has modified the strategy, and now it will enter on the 18th of September and exit on the 22nd of September. Okay, let's look at Reliance. I mean, that's the one we had started out actually with. So let's take Reliance. I think Reliance is a better example. Now the recent trade that says, for example, it will enter on the 4th of September. Now let's look at 4th September quickly. So we have the 4th of September. So we have 2 green and a red. This makes sense. This is 1371. So it'll enter at 1371. Perfect. And it'll exit on the 23rd of September. So let's look at 23rd. So we have 2 red. It bought on the 4th. 2 green and a red. That's correct. It should have exited on the 10th. So I think for exit is looking at 3. So for Reliance, we should have exited on the 10th after 2 days of downward momentum. So we should have exited theoretically here. I think it's just miscalculated a bit. I think it's looking at 3 red bars before an exit, whereas it should be looking for 2 only. Actually, there are 3 red bars here too. So yeah, it's a bit weird why it didn't take this into consideration. But yeah, that's basically you can treat this as a not very intelligent software developer. You need to work with it just to ensure that it's going in the right direction. But that's where your expertise comes in the picture, that your expertise in the domain that you are trying to work with the agent on, that's where this comes in the picture. Okay, so it says that, okay, show me recommended trades. Show me the last 5. The last 5 recommended trades for Reliance. Okay, so it says 15th, it would enter 1393. Let's look at it again. 15th of August. Oh, sorry, 15th of September. So 15th of September, we would enter. So we see 2 green bars. We would enter on the 15th at 1393. Perfect. And we would exit on the 22nd. On the 22nd at 1403. Excellent. So it's incorporated our strategy as we expected. So the earlier one, which we said that the stock price drops consecutively, that was not matching the visual representation that we are seeing at Upstox. And I think this one matches, it's clearer to observe and see and all that. So now let's reevaluate the strategy report for this strategy based on our new changes for BSC 30 for a year of data that we had downloaded. Okay, so now we just wouldn't want to see the strategy report again because the one which we had last time was based on a slightly different strategy as compared to what we are doing now. So we are just regenerating the report again. We don't see any major difference. There are just minor differences that the CAGR is still like 0.04%. ECI max drawdown is come down a bit. The Sharpe ratio is still less than 1 or greatly less than 1. So just re-emphasizing that this is educational. This is not a strategy we should be using. But now let's look at the stocks that best match our strategy and generate trades for those particular stocks. So for the stocks that best match our strategy, generate buy calls for today. So it's saying the only stock that matches our strategy and is available, it would generate a buy call today for is L&T. Let's check this one out. Perfect. You can see. So L&T has been rising 2 days in a row. We would have bought today at the price of 3684. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and do this trade. So let's generate a file that would store the calls for today and our current holdings and create a script to execute the calls for today. The investment amount is 100,000 INR, so 1 lakh. So we'll be investing 1 lakh in LNT for today. So again, we are not actually investing a lakh. This is a sandbox trade, so it's as good as paper trading, right? The only issue is there's a limitation on Upstox that when you do sandbox trades, you can't see your current holdings as far as sandbox is concerned. So we'll have to maintain the paper trade trail ourselves. So we'll just need to keep a track of what price we purchased at and what price we would sell at. So this is called paper trading, where what you do is once your strategy is defined, you would go ahead and document the performance of the strategy for future dates. You already backtesting basically verifies whether your strategy looks good for the past, but whether your strategy actually works for the future would be based on paper trading. So what you would do is you would start doing these kind of trades on a sandbox environment. So what's the sandbox environment allows you to verify is whether the trade would actually go through, because it is not necessary that you generate a buy call or a sell call and it goes through at the same price, and that's what sandbox allows you to verify. And shifting from sandbox to the actual endpoint is pretty straightforward and pretty simple. It's just a change in the URL. So right now, we are just doing a sandbox trade for the buy calls that it has generated for today. So from the BSC 30, it has identified that LNT matches matches the strategy that we have chosen, and it's basically supposed to generate the buy call for LNT. Also maintain the current holdings. Like if you go ahead and buy it, how many shares would we purchase? And in addition to that, it will just go ahead and do the call. That's what we are expecting. Now let's see how it goes. So let's have a quick look at the current holdings. It has assumed a lot of current holdings. So we are expecting that we would purchase 27 shares of LNT today. I see. So what I can currently see is there is a gap. The current holdings doesn't match the daily call. So we have no current holdings, and please include cash in current holdings. This tells us the outstanding cash amount. We will start with 1 lakh INR, and cash will reduce as we purchase and increase as we sell. And let's go ahead and execute the trade on the Sandbox API. Now, this is one place where I'll just supply some extra information to the agent, where it would actually need to go and hunt for this, the place order endpoint. So when you are placing an order, it needs to use this URL, and I just wanted to use the Sandbox URL so it doesn't end up trying the live. It will fail on the live because we don't have a access token for the live. But anyway, so this should just help it a bit on its way. Okay, so it has made some changes. Let's have a look again at the current holdings. So our current holding is cash 100,000, correct? Our daily call says LNT. That's perfect. Let's go ahead and execute the daily call. The access token remains the same. Let me copy the access token again. Okay, so I think if this goes through, we should be good. I mean, that's basically what we are building this. Okay, so it says it executed the trade. So we received an order ID. That means the trade went through. It was accepted by Upstox for the Sandbox API. Please store the order ID with the current holdings. Yeah, I mean, this is excellent. So we managed to get the trade in. We got a valid order ID from Upstox, so the trade was accepted. Our current holdings shows us that we have 27 shares of LNT, which is valid, which is what we wanted. So we have 27 shares of LNT. Only problem in Upstox is we can't, check the holdings on Upstox. Hence, we'll be maintaining this in our own file. So we can schedule this to run on a daily basis, so that it, does the trade on it just keeps doing these trades on a daily basis, and we can verify whether our strategy is generating any revenue or it is just losing money, and we end up exiting because we don't have any more we exhaust all of our funds or whatever. So basically what we need to do now is we can schedule this particular job on our machines, and it would run them at on a scheduled date and time. Now, our particular strategy is an end of day strategy, so it always generates calls for the next day. So we can just schedule it at the end of current trading hours. And so after the trading hours close, by looking at the momentum of a particular stock, it would take a call for the next. Again, I'm just saying this is informational. There are better strategies, of course, available, which you could look at. But again, please be very careful when following any strategy for day trading. Most day traders suffer losses. We are just showing this as educational, that people who are interested could try. Uh, and if you have any questions, your doubts, or you're facing problems, you can reach out to us on our Discord channel or in the comments on this video. Yeah, and that brings us to a close on the first series of our creator agent series, first one from our creator agent series. And do let us know what you feel about it. Thank you.